morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folani. Let's revert to the anti-corruption war because, as you know, the president yesterday he spoke on this particular topic at what is called. It was a workshop on the role of the judiciary in the fight against corruption, and. Well, we all have our opinions on what exactly is going on, but perhaps the president's, sort of standpoint on this, is a fitting sort of launch pad for our conversation this morning, because President Buhari had said at the workshop inter alia that I am worried that the expectation of the public is yet to be met by the judiciary with regard to the removal of delay and the toleration of delay tactics by lawyers. Of course, the president spoke at length, but that particular aspect sort of sums it up, that the president is worried that, in his opinion, the expectation of the public is yet to be met by the judiciary. That is as far as it goes, as far as it refers to the removal of delay and the toleration of delay tactics by lawyers. And this all in spite of the Administration of Justice Act of 2015 and reforms, or other sort of reforms. Well, my guest is, as you can see, Barrister Steve Adaramoye. He's also a public affairs analyst. Thank you, Steve, for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed, you're going to be joined by, a learned colleague of yours very, very shortly. But first of all, the president is on point.
Undoubtedly, the president is on point, but may I quickly even make a remark that you cannot take judiciary in isolation. The problem in the country, to really dissect it, it has to be done holistically.
I'm coming.
I just want to.
Separation of powers.
I know. I'm going somewhere.
Because none of those pillars must fall down.
I will come to that. But what I'm trying just to say in essence is that Nigeria, to dissect the problem of Nigeria, you just have to come down holistically, look at every sector. At times, people will make a remark that the problem of Nigerian is the Nigerian police force. At times, they will single out another organization for blame. But may I say, categorically, with all the facts at my disposal, that if I may use the borrow from one article written by a notable journalist, he said there is Babangida in all of us. I think Olabo Ogunsanwo is during the June 12th period. He said there is Babangida, there is a Babangida in all of us. What I'm trying just to say in essence is that there is the problem in Nigeria, the judiciary is peopled by Nigerians.
Which is what we say of the police.
That is where, exactly. Nigeria is peopled by, I'm not saying that the judiciary is doing well. I'm not saying so. I will come to that. But as open remark, I just want to say that every Nigerian, one way, and every Nigerian is guilty of what is going on. It's a very complex problem to diagnose. And actually, if you have to come to the appropriate solution, individual, we need restructuring. It's not only the judiciary. In as much as we are looking at the judiciary as the only scapegoat, we will be very, very far from solution.
Okay,
now,
Steve, Steve, one moment, please.
Yes.
I just got to make one or two comments. You see, I think I appreciate what you're trying to do, put it into perspective, and as you said, the judiciary is peopled by human beings that are Nigerian, and that it's a Nigerian issue. I hear all of that, but the judiciary is an arm of government. It's a specialist arm of a government. For example,
people by Nigerians.
Peopled by Nigerians, just like you have doctors, for instance. They're specialists. They are expected to do everything to preserve life.
Yes.
You can't go out of that, even if you're a Nigerian. You can't say because you're a Nigerian and because things are as bad as they are, even though I'm a doctor, I think I'd like to go along the path of perverting the cause of well-being and health. And the fact that you are a doctor, the fact that you're a judicial officer, you are a Nigerian, admittedly, but you're also you also have a certain calling. So I think that's what the president was addressing when he says that he fears that the expectation of the public of the judiciary, remember my analogy to the doctors, you expect doctors to save lives.
Yes, but with the code, in a situation, I'm not trying just to exonerate.
So, no, I know you're not, but I just wanted to put it into the stricture of we have a key arm of government, the judiciary, responsible, peopled by distinguished, luminaries. But there still are problems, and the president pointed it out. It's not as if it doesn't have problems. Even the Nigerian Judicial Council itself has actually fired a judge in recent times, right?
Yeah.
But the president was talking about, in particular, I know there's so many issues, in particular, the tolerance of the courts for the delayed tactics of lawyers as seen by the president, for example. It's like the president also observed that the cases of government are not doing as well as they had thought they would be doing. And here we are in a war against corruption. So it would seem to me that the president was suggesting that he's not too sure the judiciary has joined lock, stock, and barrel with the executive in this war against corruption.
I appreciate the dilemma of Mr. President. Undoubtedly, there are lapses in the judiciary, no doubt about that very fact. And when you want to talk about the judiciary, you talk about the bench and the bar. Now, and by large extent, the society itself. The sinister connivance or collaboration of the tripartite organs that I have mentioned have been responsible for the problem we are having in the country. Ordinarily, in a situation like you refer to, the Criminal Administration Justice of 2015, ordinarily, when a criminal matter is involved, the issue of delay in the dispensation of justice in Nigeria is a very, very notorious thing. In fact, I wish to say that was a case I studied in the University of Ariori and Elemo. It's a 1964 case. For one reason or the other, this case is still pending at the Keja High Court.
This is the point.
You understand? Ariori and Elemo.
Yes.
I was in court one day. I was very surprised that when the case was mentioned.
So in a sense, the judiciary is carrying on as before.
And in an attempt, ordinarily, to make sure that justice, like indecent crimes, is dispensed, within a reasonable time. Because in a situation in which justice is unnecessarily elongated, more than it is necessary.
The president made the point.
There is no doubt about the fact.
And this is the integrity aspect that the president was also stressing, that when you're in the quest for justice, you have to take integrity for granted. These are challenges that we face in our time.
When you are talking about the issue of
integrity?
No. I'm talking about criminal aspect of
yes.
When you are talking about criminal criminal trials.
Yes.
Certain things actually are supposed to be factored in. You understand?
Okay.
You see, there are a lot of problems confronting criminal trials. There are some situations in which starting from investigation, you cannot dissociate that very one.
Okay.
There are situations in which the police or other organs that are supposed to investigate cases and will not do their work properly. One way or the other. And at the same time, at that very end, there are situations in which we have unholy collaboration, sinister collaboration at that very end, even to frustrate the end of justice over there.
Yes.
That's from at the level of investigation.
Yes.
So
there are those issues because the courts work in a particular way, a prescribed way.
For instance,
so these things are necessary. I understand.
Yes. For instance, in the circumstance, ordinarily, before you bring a case to court, it must have been properly investigated. Investigation must have been totally carried out. But there are some situations, some circumstances in which investigations are not carried out because certain organs are invested with the investigation of cases. And if they investigate a case and there is prima facie case established against that very person. But what we've seen in some cases is that for one reason or the other, they may rush to court without adequate and proper investigation. Then beyond that, too, there are collaboration. I mean, we have collaboration with those organs, with the people that are at the bar, and a serious collaboration equally with the people at the bench. So in such a situation, you see, you normally have delayed trial. But what I normally say,
one moment, sir.
Yes.
All of what you've just said surely is not to justify the.
No, I'm not justifying.
Exactly.
I'm trying just to X-ray. I'm just as a practitioner, somebody that is involved.
Exactly, but if
somebody that is involved,
and it's a dissatisfactory situation.
No, undoubtedly, that is a dissatisfactory situation.
Now the question is,
that is why the Administration of Criminal Justice of 2015, both at federal level and that of Lagos State, came into existence just to ensure that trials are speedily done.
Exactly.
You understand? Carry out. Especially, I appreciate one fact that at this moment, a deranged season where we have ourselves today, where we are combating the headed monster of corruption and impunity. You understand? Judiciary cannot afford to be slumbering. You understand? It has to wake holistically to its duty. And I appreciate that very fact. I'm not denying that very fact.
And that is what it is a bit surprising to people that it even is saying.
Yes.
That it even bears saying at all is what is a bit surprising to people. Because the president spoke about integrity being a key component of the administration of justice. Exactly. So as you have explained, the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of 2015, it is there.
Section 306 particularly, there are certain things you cannot do.
It must be a wonderful document, but it needs to be applied. This is the problem. It has to be applied. And the whole issue here, which I think you've tried to sort of address, is that the judiciary, at least in the perception of some, maybe those who don't know very much about it, are not seen to be on board because of the things, to paraphrase the president, the way the judiciary tolerates delayed tactics of lawyers. Now, what I'm saying is that that can only be handled from within the judiciary. I don't think anybody from outside can order, but it's for...
I appreciate that.
It might be that the judiciary might say of itself and of its members that you've explained that this is totally unacceptable and not tolerable anymore. It's like matching orders within itself. That kind of enthusiasm has not yet been seen that we are on board. We understand what's going on. And within the ambits of the law, we know how we can fast track the whole thing within the ambits of the law that an outsider cannot know. Those kind of helpful as acts, perhaps, have not been seen from the judiciary. It is as if nothing can be done. That's
like I said,
that's how it goes.
No.
Some cases last 10 years. Nobody wants anything to change. And that's what we can't afford.
Yes. I appreciate that like I said, I appreciate the dilemma of Mr. President. There's no doubt about that very fact.
Oh, isn't it our whole national dilemma?
Yeah. I appreciate that very fact because we have to move forward. We have to get rid of corruption before corruption gets rid of us.
Like we can't get rid of corruption without the judiciary.
Without the judiciary. Even, but by extension, if I may say, is the legislature even, are they cooperating?
Okay. So what you're doing is extending it to a way. It's not just the judiciary. Even legislator too.
Yes, are they cooperating? In the war, this is a war.
So we're in a mess.
We're a very total mess. It's a very serious one. You understand? In a situation in which the president, the National Assembly, they are trying just to enact law that will remove them from being prosecuted while they are in the office.
Yes.
In a situation in which the legislature, they are trying to enact law where they are going to earn salary for the rest of their life after leaving office, for working only for 3 days in a week. You understand? So I think this very battle.
So it's almost like like the executive almost is the only one in this anti-corruption campaign. Almost.
I agree. So in essence, like I want to say, I was trying just to make one analysis about the judiciary. We have the bench, we have the bench, and we have the bar. We cannot have injustice without the collaboration of the two. You understand? Bad lawyers, we aid and abet bad judges to attain at injustice, which is factored in by delay, what do you call it? Delay trials. Under a normal circumstance, like I find Section 306 of the Criminal Administration of Justice very, very,
for the benefit of non-legal minds, what exactly, in a nutshell, is 306?
During a trial, for instance now, or during the criminal trial, there are certain applications, frivolous applications you cannot just bring in. You understand? You can't bring in certain applications to delay the trial. I mean, a trial that is ongoing. You understand? Because lawyers have this practice. You bring an application, for instance, a preliminary objection. If that preliminary objection is not upheld, then you go to Court of Appeal. If you are not satisfied there, then you go to Supreme Court. Why doing all those things? Time is running against justice. You understand?
Yes, apart from the fact that money is being spent. Apart from the fact that money is even being spent.
The real substantive matter is there hanging, suffering, while you are attending to the shadow. You understand? Inasmuch, and that is what this Criminal Administration of Justice is trying just to curtail. Despite that very fact, look at what is happening at CCT. You understand? Charakela has been to his lawyers. They have raised several preliminary objections, which ordinarily are not supposed to be.
And
you understand?
And the only person who can say it's not supposed to be is the judge.
Is the judge.
Is the court.
Yes. That's why
as personified by the judge.
Exactly.
And so this is the problem. We got Caleb calling in from, is it Jos? Good morning, Caleb. Kenneth.
Hello?
Who is on the line? Kenneth. Good morning, Kenneth. Kenneth, if you can hear us.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Go ahead, Kenneth.
Hello?
There is a problem. Kenneth doesn't know that he's connected.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Good morning, Kenneth. Go ahead,
yeah,
please.
How are you doing?
Good morning. Go ahead, quickly.
Hello?
Quickly, Kenneth. Go ahead.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm sorry, Kenneth. Maybe the line is not good. He's not hearing us. We're not hearing. We hear him, but I don't think he can hear us.
I just want to read the Section 306 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015.
Sure.
It's saying in the main, an application for stay of proceeding in respect of a criminal matter before the court shall not be entertained. You understand? There are situations in which...
But that one that you've just read there is not holding.
It's
not holding.
Actually, it's supposed to be holding.
I know. That's why it's written down.
Yes.
That's why it's written down. But it's not
because
holding.
That particular section,
like
the CCT that I mentioned, have been in violation severally.
Okay, that's the way you lawyers say it.
Have been in violation severally. Ordinarily, it's supposed not to be. If you have an application, given this position of law, if you have an application, it has to be had with the trial. So at the end of the day, everything has to be had together.
And who knows this better than the judge? Who? The
practitioners, I put it there.
So what I'm saying is that all these things you are telling us that so ought to be, the judges know it best.
Yes.
And for some
I want
reason,
to say something.
It is not happening all the time.
Yes. Even though I want to say something.
Sure.
Mr. President a little bit get it wrong.
Okay.
You understand? Not in terms of his comments. At the commencement of his administration, I would have expected that, like his vice president, very erudite, accomplished lawyer, you understand, they will have put a template, a very special template, for the sake of fighting this corruption. That is what I thought they could have done. Send the bill to the assembly, set a special template set a special template to the National Assembly, create a special court, you understand me, that can fast track trials of people that are brought are brought for trial under corruption. I think that is what ordinarily he ought to have done at the commencement.
Okay.
Because going through the normal court, certain processes cannot be abridged. So like
Okay,
the
let me
end
come
of
back
the
to
day,
the point. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Let me come back to the point. We got Evangelist Joshua calling in from Gowan Estate. I don't know which Gowan Estate. In Lagos?
Good morning.
Good morning, Evangelist
Brother
Joshua.
Yori.
You calling in from Lagos?
I'm calling from Gowan Estate.
Okay.
My name is Evangelist Joshua Adeboboye.
Okay, please go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Greetings to Barrister Adara Polide. I agree in totality with your guest today. I've made this point clear many times to you and to the whole nation. The problem we are having is enormous in this nation. And it's an Apollo task for Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari. This change that we voted for is a divine platform. All the problems we are having in this country, Avenger, Obesa, OCP, all this one, corruption, monetization, privatization, oil bunkering, every problem we have. The common denominator is the corruption. It's like a gangrene cancer that needs a radical, bloodless surgery. I made it clear to you, President Muhammad Buhari must not fail. I told you President Muhammad Buhari needs help. It was in my mind when I came to you about 2 months ago, when I said President Muhammad Buhari needs help.
Look,
you can see now.
Look, Evangelist Joshua. Can you speak about the judiciary, please, that the president addressed a workshop on in relation to anti-corruption? That the judiciary and the war against corruption.
That's what I'm trying.
Okay, so we thank you very much for your perspective. That's what we will now factor
now
this in to what we're talking about. Sorry, did you want to add anything else?
Hello?
Did you want to add anything else?
Yes. The situation needs an holistic approach.
Okay.
And I was about to put the suggestion to you that the Mr. President should call for a referendum in the nation to remove this rule of law.
A referendum to do what?
To create confusion and derail.
A referendum to do what, sir? I didn't get that properly.
Me? So if we call for a national referendum to remove this rule of law, everybody will sit tight.
Okay.
There is a need for a re-engineering of the spirit mind of every Nigerian.
All right.
And this can only be done by the national spiritual rebirth that will be carried out.
Thank you very, very much, Evangelist Joshua Adeboboye. A radical suggestion that perhaps, and it probably reflects the frustration of all well-meaning people when he makes the very radical suggestion that maybe there should be a referendum so we can take out rule of law and put it to one side for the moment. Forget rule of law. Let's all go with what we know, koro, true.
There is no way. That one is absolutely impossible.
Of course,
the moment we have that,
because our society must
we
be
go
based.
to the Bayesian state.
It must be based on the rule of
society.
law.
Exactly.
But
because starting from the constitution,
even as the evangelist was making the suggestion, it was hyperbolic. I'm sure he himself knew that it's hyperbolic, but it does one thing very well. It does reflect the depth of the, shall we say, depression
of frustration
and frustration that people feel about how are we going to make traction here. When the lawyers come along and bring all their books and bring all they know the rule of law inside out, and they begin to do all sorts of dances within it, and the judges tolerate it. Whereas that has been going on from time immemorial, as we say. Is this not a special time? Is this not an auspicious time, perhaps, is what the president is asking plaintively, for people to just adhere strictly to the rules, So from the judge to the lawyers to the registrar to the police to
the litigants.
Bring the litigant into it. How can we arrive back at a place where it is a sanctuary of morality, and integrity. And no matter who you are, even if you don't have a kobo to your name, you will get justice if you gain access to that sanctuary. That we don't have yet. But you know what? I think let's take a break now.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break. We'll also bring on another of your colleagues, and then we'll continue we'll continue this coverage of the workshop against corruption and the judiciary. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, and we've been joined by Barrister Wale Ogunade. So we have 2 weeks in the house now, which is just as well. They're just not wearing them, that's all. Nevertheless, thank you very much for coming, President Voters Awareness Initiative. We're not talking politics really now, or elections, but you, as you have heard, the concern of the president, his apprehension that, the president's guess is that is worried, and I'm quoting directly, I am worried that the expectation of the public is yet to be met by the judiciary with regard to the removal of delay and the toleration of delay tactics by lawyers. Your brother here, your legal brother, has explained to us that it's not just within the courts, the whole thing. There are other aspects that could affect the behavior of the courts. So as you heard in the last couple of minutes that you've been here, why is it becoming rocket science is what the ordinary man in the street is probably wondering. Morality, integrity, the law. It's not rocket science if there is integrity which will lead to sincerity. This is the big problem since we're fighting the war against corruption. I wonder if you're on the same page with the president.
I want to believe I will be. After my submissions, maybe other people will listen.
Of course, but just bear in mind that this is not a court of law,
yes,
and I'm not a judge,
I'm not making
and so I don't
submission.
have to be persuaded. But we just want to know that why the perception out there that the judiciary is a sucker, If they catch me here and once we arrive in court, the court will fix it so the court will allow me to go abroad and.
It's the law.
It's the law.
It's the law that we have on ground. As I'm talking to you now, we still operate the 1914 laws, the law that were brought to us by Lord Lugard.
Hey, but there have some reforms have been coming. They've been doing reforms now.
The reforms are nothing.
Really?
The reforms are nothing. That's why thieves and all these people who dip their hands in public tilt can go scot-free, and they go scot-free. You see and hear all the billions of naira and dollars that disappear through the public tilt. That's not my problem. The judiciary is just a lame duck. And I know you know what I mean by a lame duck. It just can only bark, but man can't bite because the strength to work, the laws to make them work is not strong enough.
If a judge takes a very dim view of corruption, excuse me, I know the judge is going to have to be guided by law.
Yes,
but if he's on the side of the war against indiscipline and takes a very, very dim view of shenanigans, I'm just guessing as a layman.
The law, you can't just look at it and say, yes, you are indisciplined. I send you to jail.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Because the law encourages all this gymnastics. My brother was going there before I came on air. You see, the law allows for technicalities. So you can go and meander, and that's what made Salusi Buhari the other day. We went away with a wrist in the hand, a slap in the wrist, with all the offenses he committed. But don't let me just quickly go there. You see, we have problems because the legislature is not doing its job. There is a constitution. I even saw it here, so it's not my own document to say that this man brought it again to bamboozle us. and the Section
Nobody
4.
feels bamboozled by being told about the Constitution.
Section 4 is clear. Let me just read it out so that people, the discerning public, will know where the blame lies. Not with the lawyers or the judiciary, it's with the legislative arm. Because we don't have good laws. Let me see.
Aren't
The
we passing
legislative
the
powers
buck?
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be vested in the National Assembly for the Federation and shall consist of the Senate and the House of Representatives. That's it. And subsection 2 says the National Assembly shall have power to make laws for the order and good governance of the federation or any part thereof. And of course, there are various lists. I won't go to go there. The exclusive list, the legislative list, and the concurrent list.
What if I were to say with respect
Yes.
that in this context, that's a lot of sophistry? Because, as I said, we have arrived in the court, and the court hands the man a free pass to walk because of all sorts of legal technicalities that
That's
you're
why I'm
talking about.
saying that the laws that we have are so weak to encourage inanities and criminality that people are not. For you to see, one way or the other, the Administrative of Justice Act was passed one way or the other. And for it to have effect, you see the way again that is being manipulated, not to work. And it's only in Nigeria. And I won't go too far again.
understand
Let me go to the Ibori matter. In Ibori, in Nigeria, the man was set free. But here we are. He got to another climb, and that same offenses and the ingredients were the one used to nail him.
For example, a practical case that I can remember, very, very recent, the judge in the Stella Odua case, for example. The Judicial Council stepped into the matter, and as I understand it, has actually fired a judge. Right?
Yes.
In a very brief summary, just like in 3 seconds, what particularly was the judge fired for?
He was fired for compromise. So he compromised his position. He knew the law, and he took advantage of the law for the benefit of the people, of the client, rather than the state. And that's all we are saying. It's the same thing because the law is weak. Now because there's a new regime.
No, that had nothing to do with the law.
No, I'm going somewhere.
Sorry, sir.
I think that one strike at the conscience. The conscience of God.
The law is weak because he thought that the weakness of the law will support him. It's because of the new change in governance. That's why if it were before in the era,
he will get away with it.
Of course.
What did you want to say? Because you see, look, sometimes it's a decided advantage not to know law. Sometimes it's a very, very decided advantage not to know law. Because when you say to me, the judge in that case, for example, you now begin to go into the Constitution, you begin to go to the National Assembly, when it was the judge who the Judicial Council decided did not behave professionally competently, and told him to take a walk, it means that the man could have stood his ground.
Let me say something.
Yes, sir.
I think it is not the law that need deliverance, but the operators of the law. Now, how do I mean? There is still a lingering example of bad administration or bad administration or dispensation of justice, like the case of the former governor.
Ibori?
No, not Ibori. This man from South too. A perpetual injunction.
Okay, is it Odili?
Odili, thank you. A perpetual injunction.
Okay, that's what Stella's judge. Stella's judge.
That case is still pending.
He granted
you understand?
He granted a perpetual
injunction. A perpetual injunction.
Meaning that
was granted that you cannot enter into that arena.
Yes.
You understand? To investigate Odili
yes.
in any manner, in any manner whatsoever and howsoever. You understand?
Whereas that's the job
and that one, it has received a lot of condemnation, eternal condemnation
yes.
from Nigerians.
Yes.
So for a judge who has been in Nigeria and is privy to that very particular decision and to the condemnation that trail that very particular decision, I think is satanic.
Okay.
Irresponsible for any judge to give such a similar decision. Again. So
this is about.
I will have thought.
This is about hiding within a legal box, and then saying that, well,
yes,
sorry, I'm a trained officer of the court, and this legal box is where we operate, and you're not looking outside the window.
We come to the issue of greed,
Don't
poverty.
judges look at society?
You understand?
Don't lawyers look at society?
Yes.
Within which they are operating? Mr. Wolabi, I want to apologize for keeping you waiting. Good morning, sir. Calling in from Ikorodu. Did I lose him? I did. I think I lost Mr. Wolabi. Can I just apologize to you, sir? I'm very, very sorry. Try and get us again. Even if it's mid-sentence, So now, this is a different kind of conversation from that which you would be having if you had a lawyer's program, where you guys want to talk the law, and even the host is a lawyer, and that's an intellectual program that you can attach to University of Lagos Law School and you people look at it. This is a conversation from the point of view of society. The public, according to the president, and many people will say, right on, sir, the public, according to the president, has not yet gotten the maximum benefit, the potential of the judiciary. And it's like the president is asking, why? Why not?
Sorry, sir. I told you, the judiciary cannot work in vacuum. The judiciary uses the law to work. The lawmakers must make laws, good laws. If the lawmaker does not make the good laws, the judiciary can't have good laws to work with. And that's what we are saying. We still have old integrity. There is integrity there, but the process and procedure. There are lawyers.
Because
I have a matter just as I'm coming from the court now. The procedures is not strong
Let me take
enough.
Apostle Adekunle. Interesting that men of God are calling in today. Justice, integrity. Maybe
That's
why.
we both of us use scholars.
Good morning, Apostle Adekunle.
Good morning. God bless you.
Amen, sir.
Gentlemen there, God bless you.
Thank you for calling in.
It shall be well with Nigeria.
Amen.
And it shall be well with all of us.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Please, sir, you are in position to tell these people who call themselves the judiciary officers, the law enforcement agents, that they should allow the fear of God to rule their life. They accepted to serve Nigeria.
Exactly, Apostle.
They are serving themselves. Nigeria is becoming greater and greater, no matter whatever they do. And I want to appeal to the president that he should go ahead without looking back.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Apostle Adekunle. There you have it. This is a situation, I made the point that this is not exactly a legal program.
Yes.
There are legal programs.
We are breaking it down. For people to
Thank
understand.
you. We are breaking it down. And at the moment, I don't think any Nigerian, apart from a few lawyers, will agree. And those lawyers must be those whose clients are benefiting from the state of anything goes, almost. Status quo. There is no fear of the courts. In fact, people are looking to quickly take me to the court so that I can sort this matter out once and for all. You know, you almost have a sense. You know the cynical notion our people have, which is that they're even now saying that if you're going to steal, please make sure you do a spirited effort. So you can put aside 1 billion to get yourself out of it in court. Between the lawyers and the court, 1 billion should take care of you. I mean, for goodness sake, you can't talk like that. You can't think like that. But
in other same climes.
But
that's a cliche in Nigeria.
we just hope it is not entirely true.
And that's what I'm
saying. We hope it is the stuff of pepper soup bars.
No, it's not. That's the reality, because just as I said, and I keep on saying it, the laws are weak. We have laws that makes a common thief to rot in jail and a big man to me book even round. I go to Kirikiri regularly. I see them. Oga, please help me. Nasmo, I don't know. Some even pure water phone, Nokia phone of 2,000 naira takes them. They are there for 6 months.
But if that
we now organize prerogative of mercy. We now do human rights and file applications.
Exactly. You are still talking about the operators.
But if that
not
person
about
had
the
money,
law.
if that person had money,
yes,
he wouldn't be rotting in jail.
That's it now.
ATM. He will have the money to pursue it right up to the appeal court, right up to the Supreme Court.
But in other climes, it doesn't matter. No matter who you
justice
are.
Is stacked.
Justice is for everybody.
Never mind everybody. Justice is stacked against the common man in Nigeria, and you lawyers should just admit it and let's get out of here.
No, obviously,
it's stacked against the common man.
It's expensive because obviously.
Never mind the expensive. It's stacked against. Justice is stacked against the ordinary.
Here, I think some years ago.
I think there's someone else on the line. Mr. Okpara from VI. Good morning.
Yeah, Yuri, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to two gentlemen over there.
Sure.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yuri, thank you for this topic. I must say God bless you all for this great topic people brought today. Our nation is rotten. It starts from judiciary. They say judiciary is a group of a common man, but today it's not so. As I'm telling you, yeah, look at the labor court. Labor court that's supposed not to last 6 months. There's some people that own have been for 5 years now. Landing problem that's supposed not to last long. Since 7 years, people's cases have been in the court. And it keep adjoining and adjoining. Please, I don't know. Please, I want to ask our judiciary over there in that place, please. Do they have a disciplinary committee that disciplines these people? Or are they above the law? Please, I want you to answer me that question. Are they above the law? Or do they have a disciplinary committee that disciplines lawyers that went astray? Yeah, if the Chief Justice of the Federation, these people are under him, and he cannot. I don't know what our nation is rotting.
Yeah.
Please, the corruption is too much in the judiciary. You put your effort.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. You see, I think, let me put it in terms, because I keep on emphasizing this is not exactly a legal program. Now, we have the whole institution of justice. And lawyers, judges, everybody are officers in this institution, this temple of justice. Now, they are expected to behave in a certain way. As for example, if it were the church, you would expect them to behave a certain way.
Yeah.
If it were the medical profession,
yes,
you would expect them to behave the same way.
Yes.
Now, when they are lawyers, the way you expect lawyers to be men of integrity, which a lot of them are, judges to be judges of integrity, which a lot of them are, unfortunately, this microscopic part of it seems to be outshining and getting much more notice than all of the other ones, because it's not as if anybody's going to say go and throw away our judiciary and the whole, even although one man was annoyed enough this morning to call for a referendum on getting rid of the rule of law, you know, because these are the kind of tricks he's thinking about. But let me just include this guy so that you can just kola kokbo. Taufik is calling in from Oshobo. Good morning, Mr. Taufik.
Hello.
We're waiting for you, Taufik.
Hello, good morning.
Taufik, can you hear us? Good morning.
Hello.
Please go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah,
It's happened right now.
Yes. So generally, you went somewhere. I want to add more to what that hilarious
sure.
thing. Then now come home seriously.
Sure.
Imagine you going to church one day and your pastor mounts the people with one big wrap of Indian hemp on his mouth. You know that definitely this is not your pastor, or something has gone wrong.
Something has gone wrong in this institution. And yet, that analogy is actually obtainable in the judiciary.
No, that's where I'm going. You see, the judiciary, the training of a lawyer is to protect the interest of his client.
I understand that Taufik is still there.
Yeah,
It
let
must be
him
a
talk.
technical
Let him
issue.
talk.
Hello, Taufik. Can you hear us now? Oh,
The
dear.
training of a lawyer is to protect the interests of his client. There are
Okay.
bad lawyers, there are good lawyers.
Okay.
You see, the
And
law
there are
is
good
there.
clients and there are bad clients.
Yes,
no,
of course.
Sorry, all clients are good clients.
No.
Because they are paying clients.
They are paying clients.
They are paying
Let me
clients. So
just
all
bury it.
clients
Let me
are
just
good
bury it.
clients. Let me correct myself.
And where I'm going is that, you have an infraction or an interface or a challenge with the law, you go meet a lawyer to help you out. And the lawyer want to protect your interests.
Sure.
That's what the lawyer is trained for.
Yes.
Right? And in taking it, what the lawyer does generally is to take advantage of a law. And where there are weak laws, good for the lawyer. But in a country like Europe or in South Korea, that the laws are strong, then definitely there's nothing the lawyer can do. Let me come quickly home. Recently, Buhari sent some bills to the National Assembly to fight corruption. Instead of them to treat that one and ensure that it comes on stream, they are busy looking at how they can perpetuate them, their income, their emoluments, they are slapping some people's wives.
So that's what Steve was relating to when he said the National Assembly itself is not doing its part.
I'm going.
And that
So
it's
how do you
a
have the
holistic
judiciary?
thing.
Will the judiciary just come up from heaven
Chukudi,
and use
good
laws?
morning. Thanks for calling in. Chukudi, you're in Ikosi, right?
Hello.
Good morning, Chukudi. Good morning, Chukudi. Good morning, Chukudi.
Hello.
Oh dear. Chukudi, we can hear you.
I'm in Ogudu. Ogudu, good morning. Yeah, you see, I have a problem. This war on corruption must be fought. But the problem with... I said this war on corruption must be fought. problem that is on ground is that EFCC is not doing enough to fight this war on corruption. Even though there are also elements within that are fighting EFCC. Like we had some stories about the secretary to the government and others fighting the EFCC chairman. They don't want him there because they don't want him to do the job. Now, can we get FBI or MI6 to come and help EFCC because they don't know how to investigate.
MI6
to come and help them investigate these criminal acts, these fraudulent acts, this corruption, because it's all over the place.
Okay.
We need thorough investigation to be able to bring these people to book. If we are going the way EFCC is going now, Sagaraki will go free.
All right.
Many others will go free.
Okay.
And that is not what we want.
Okay.
But suffice it to say that we don't want Buhari to fail in this fight against corruption.
Okay.
He must go ahead with it. He must not let anybody distract him. Let him not be afraid of Saraki and his cohorts.
All right.
Because they are bent on forgetting whatever the president is doing. And they want to...
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Chukwu.
And I will just add, there is a Yoruba proverb, I won't say it in Yoruba, it is the dog, the modern dog that you use in tracing and run and getting the modern bush rats. Right? We need modern laws. The laws that we are using, the EFCC and all of them are using.
Let me say something.
Sure.
I may not totally agree with my brother and line friend that we don't have enough law. There are plethora of law. Even before if EFCC Act and CPC Act came into operation, those laws were there line follow. Like I said initially, the problem is not about the law, about the reformation of the law alone, in as much as I acknowledge the very fact that some laws are obsolete, archaic, and they can't meet the requirement of the modern times.
I hear you.
At the same time,
I hear you. Sir. Wait,
yes.
Now let me come in, sir, because don't forget I'm unlearned.
Yes.
And
yes.
there are some times when it's very good to be unlearned because it frees you up. It frees you up. Now, in America, as you well know, when the president wants to appoint Supreme Court judges, you know there's a whole big deal about the matter.
Yes.
And I don't need to tell you why. It's because if you appoint Barrister Adara Moye as a Supreme Court judge in America, the man they even won't see any aspect of corruption. You have a problem with that judge. You are going to have, because of how he is, his intolerance for that issue, you are almost guilty when you arrive in front of him because the man
he's guilty on arrival.
You're almost if you are seen to, if it is a rape. But yet there are liberal judges that will begin to look at it from the point of view of fundamental human rights. And so we need all of that. But the point I'm making, why I went to that example, is that, look, the judges within the judiciary, within the judicial system, if they are of a certain bent, then the whole system is going to have to do egungun, be careful. Be very, very careful, because the judiciary of nowadays is not like we used to handle it in those days. You arrive in court now, they expect everything to be spotless, spick and span, prove your case. You try to mess any delay like that, it's going to work against you.
Definitely.
Anybody trying to bring it in the new courts in Nigeria. But we don't have any of that. What we have is little removed from continuing like before. Someone else is trying to get in. Let me find out who. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, good morning, sir. Mr.
Hello.
Wilson?
This is yourself.
I am calling you to talk, Mr. Wilson. Now, this is yourself you talk.
Oh, God.
Talk now,
Hello?
Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson? Mr. Wilson?
Yes, hello. I am very glad to connect to the studio. Yes, I want to say the lawyers are one of the greatest problems we have in this country.
Please go on, sir.
He's none. That's what he wants to tell us.
Okay, that's what he wanted to say.
Answer him.
Well, don't let us do that.
No.
Don't let's answer him. Because I hear what he has said. Don't let's burn time. Because you have explained copiously that it's the law. It's not the lawyers. It's the law. And let's leave it at that.
I'm saying, I'm actually saying that it's not the law.
Okay.
I'm saying 16 alone.
Okay.
It's a mixture of both the laws and the practitioners.
We are there.
You understand?
All of them are
What?
operating under the law.
You understand? For instance, I want to say something.
Oh, dear.
In the hierarchy of responsibility, I believe someone, a lawyer, should be responsible.
And be above board.
No.
Sorry, sir. Apologize for interrupting you. The whole matter of the judiciary is not doing enough. I think is what we've been explaining for the past 1 hour. There is a reason for it. I think that's what's been going on.
Let me see.
There's a reason for it.
That's it.
Let me see. When you are talking, at the initial stage
we have
of our program.
15 seconds more.
Yes. At the initial stage of our program, I try as much as possible. It's a very complex situation, really.
Okay.
For
so
us
it's
to
not as
dissect.
simplistic as the president
you cannot
just pointed it
for
out
instance,
in a neat package.
Somebody just said that lawyers are the problem of the country. What of the pastors? What of the policemen?
It's
What Nigerians?
Okay.
I said.
And so you're
if
saying
you
that
want
the
to get-
judiciary cannot be immune from
Yeah,
that.
yes.
That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
we got to leave it. We've run out of time completely. It's not my fault. Somebody said this yourself, not knowing that we are guided by all these strictures. Lawyers will come with all their own strictures and all their own rules. We also have our own rules now. When you must go, you must go. And when you must
We
come,
must
you
do
must come.
extension of time for you now. Let's do extension of time.
There's no judge to hear your case. There's no judge to hear that application.
The people are the judge. They want us to extend.
Thank you very much, Barrister Wale Ogunade, President Voters Awareness Initiative, but he wasn't talking about that this morning.
To God be
And
the glory.
Steve Adaramoye, lawyer and public affairs analyst. As I said, this is not exactly a legal lawyer's program, but it's where a layman now just sort of goes on a rant with you guys, your lawyer guys, and you guys try your best to sort of say, well, it's not our fault, it's the law. Change the society and the law will change, right?
Yes.
That's what you're saying. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with a fresh edition of the program. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.